So, third week. In the first week, we understood a bit of Eastern wisdom. I have been saying to you the goal is to discover our real nature. And that real nature is full of peace, happiness, love, wisdom. It never changes. It never changes. It means what? There is nothing new in it. But there is nothing new in it also means that remains constant. Now ask your mind, does your mind seek a happiness in continuity, love in continuity, wisdom in continuity? Yes. We want that. That's our desire. So that I can live, speak, work in peace and happiness in the midst of all my activities, in all my relationships. So that is why it is not new. But for our crazy mind, this is definitely new. If our mind is crazy. If it is not, then there is no problem. There is no need to attend this session. So then we did the practice. In the last week, we discussed about the monkey became a monk. Yeah? We remember. Monkey became a monk, and we also understood how we claim through our intellectual information that we have reached to that state. An example of a professor. He said, no, I know everything, and he didn't do the practice. So there are, normally in our traditional wisdom, every master, more or less, they explain in a different way. Do you know peace is good? Do you know peace is good? Yes, peace is definitely good. But how do you know that the peace is good? Do you live in peace 24/7? How do you know that? That is a part of ignorance. I have to drop it. You know peace is good, but do you live in peace and happiness 24/7? No. So the next question comes, then how do I know that the peace is good? How do you know? Because Google has told you.
Well, because when you're there, you know it. When you're in the peace, you know it's good.
Yes, the next question comes, why don't you live all the time? Because if it is good, I must live into that state all the time.
Let's get it away.
Go ahead. Go ahead, continue to ask your question. That's a good point of contemplation. Question is this. So there comes the third lesson, that why I don't live in peace 24/7 even when I know it is good. Who prevents it? Mind or somebody else. If your mind claims somebody else, I don't follow Eastern wisdom. So simple. I have not understood the first lesson. Why? Eastern wisdom is a discovery of the self. Isn't it? Are you clear, Nancy?
Yeah.
Are you looking down? No, it is not.
No.
Yeah.
I know it is.
So that brings us to understand a little bit about our mind. So one master says mind is the cause of the problem and mind is the cause of the solution. Problem is also there and the solution is also there. I don't know this place. Who knows it? Mind. So the Casey gives me the address. Now I know it. I put into the GPS. Casey gives me the information, but it goes into my mind. So there is a problem and there is a solution. So both problem and the solution lies in the mind. Clear? then also the ignorance in the wisdom also lies in the mind. Two questions. Am I my mind? No. I'm not my mind. Right? Then it means I can take over the mind. I have an option to take over the mind. I have a choice. So if I start working on the mind, I can bring a solution in the mind, and that is what is all about mindfulness and meditation. So one great woman in New Jersey told me to make a presentation, so that's how I started. I think that's a very famous three-liner approach, that you tell them what you want to tell them, then summarize what you have told them. That's what I'm approaching. So mind is the cause of problem and mind is the cause of the solution. We started with there. Experience, we all have our experiences, that the stress, the suffering, the fear, the anxiety, the duality and conflicts enters in our life from the back door. Why from the back door? We don't want it. You wake up in the morning and do you ask that let me have little anxiety and then I'll take care of it? No. You don't want stress. We don't want suffering in our life. Yeah? And I always tell we married because of the happiness. Stephanie, but if there is no happiness, then we blame marriage. Or we blame others. Go back to the Eastern wisdom. The principle says I have to discover myself. The self is of the nature of the peace. Neither the marriage, nor to whom I married. One example. One example. Right? So coming back to the mind, the default setting of this mind is likes and dislikes. The moment we go to the mall and store and I like this, I don't like this. Now this is better. It's a default setting. You never thought of it. Understand that. But from where that default setting has come? From the animal mind. We are evolving. We evolved from the animal mind to the human mind. But why? Why? Why we had such a default setting? We start blaming God. That doesn't work in mindfulness. Don't bring God in here. Don't bring religion here. Be very clear. Our mind has been evolving with experiences of fears, of safety. It has evolved from the animal mind, and that animal mind, one of the strongest instinct is the safety, this feeling of insecurity. We carried forward that mind. We don't want to change our mind. Now I know it, like the professor last week, I know it. Okay, you teach me, guide me, and everything is done. It doesn't work that way. Look at it. So we evolved from, our mind has evolved from the animal mind, it has yet to become a human mind. There are some aspects. The human mind, we work, we think. But we have to ask ourselves, is it right thinking or wrong thinking? So all our thinking is dominated, dictated by this animal mind. Look at this modern world. Look at it. Think of it. Just experience the modern world. Wealth, now I have to secure it. I don't have it, I have to get it more and more. Why? Ask yourself. Go back to the feeling of insecurity. There is no other reason. Pleasure, sexual pleasure, varieties, colors, food, colors, varieties. We have hundreds of restaurants. Where is the shop for peace? Human mind. Where is the shop for happiness, for wisdom? Nowhere.
Here.
Where? Even our yoga has been reduced to stretching and sweating and enjoying. You see that? Look at it.
Not all the yoga though.
Not all the yoga though?
A lot of it, but I think it brings people to a better place. So it starts out that way, but I think it does bring people where it's supposed to.
But
eventually.
how? You are right. It is happening. But how many people are going for peace when the word yoga is there?
Well, they don't know because no one's going to go for that. But
Yes.
once they start going, they realize it. So
You're right. You have already answered my question. My mind says peace is there in the things outside in the world, in varieties, in likes and dislikes, in different kinds of the food. You have already answered that question in a different way. You see that? So, default setting, returning again, the default setting of the mind is constantly agitated deeper inside, find to secure a security, and that is not there. There is no security in the external world. If we eat organic, will you not die? Even though organic food is good. No, I'm saying, it is good, definitely, as compared to inorganic. No doubt about it.
the process stuff.
Yeah. You understand that point. Once we understand, then the mind says, where lies the peace? The mind naturally moves inside. The moment the mind starts moving inside, it has become the human mind. The very first thing to understand, this mind should change its direction for peace and happiness, not outside, but inside. I don't say that don't eat organic. I don't say that don't try different foods in different restaurants. I didn't say that. What did I say? People mistake it 99%. I'm not saying don't change anything outside. Move the mind inside. Question comes, mind doesn't move outside, inside. Where lies the problem? Where is the problem? Where is the problem? Mind doesn't like to move inside. Do you see that? In our day-to-day life, mind does not like to move inside. It is still moving outside. It still conditions itself. It creates a habit. It creates a routine. And then it falls into the same trap. That's why I always say, I married because of the happiness, I divorced because of the happiness, and again I remarry because of the happiness. The mind is still outside. Why the mind is not going inside? It is my mind, not your mind. My mind doesn't go inside. Whatever situation you create, Nancy, outside, I have a choice to move the mind inside. But still the mind doesn't move inside. Do you see that? I have a choice. I have a choice. It is my mind, not your mind. But something happens to this mind and I start looking at the Stephanie and the mind doesn't move inside. No, example. You see that I look at the Casey, why? This is known as the impurity of the mind. But why the impurity is there? This is what you chant, recite every class. Asatoma Satgamaya. Coming back. My mind considers my false nature as my true nature. Until you make this mind understand the principle, contemplate and reflect, until the mind is totally convinced, nothing is going to happen. Do whatever you want to say. The mind needs a conviction, not from the religion, not from the dogma, not from the belief, but from clear understanding here and now. We all are fairly intelligent, so we can understand it. No? Yeah, really. Isn't it? So when we claim we have a human intellect, let this intellect should understand. But why? You are just talking about the mind and now you are talking of the intellect. I'm giving a reasonable answer that you need to contemplate. The intellect has been dictated by the impressions stored by this mind from the default setting. So the intellect, even if it says, I know, I understand, mind says, okay, you have understood, then the mind takes you outside. That is why we need a clarity of understanding at the intellectual level. Intellect level. But how to understand now question comes. How to understand? And I've been saying the first thing is to understand the principle as it is. Don't make your intellect and the mind crazy in understanding the principle. Do you know the principle? How to take the staircases and reach here? We know it. First thing is to simply know the principle from the teachers, from the text and principles of the Eastern wisdom. Ask your mind, do I know the principle? Do I understand the principle as it is stated by the masters? Ask your mind, yes, I understand. Then comes the second step. Do I really understand the principle? Do I really understand the principle? So I have a lot of doubts and I have a lot of questions and problems. So that is going to remove the layer of the impurities, the false nature, at the intellect level. At the intellect level. Do you know my house? Stephanie?
Do I know your house?
Yeah.
No.
So first principle is that I have a home. So you have understood that first level.
Yes.
Where is your home? Where it is located? What is the address? Is it really your home or somebody else? Now we are asking the questions to become clear. So now I give you the address and okay, this is the address. So now your intellect says, I have understood. Right? Clear? Huh? Now I have an understanding, intellectual understanding. The same thing applies to the meditation and mindfulness. Now I have an intellectual understanding and clarity. What is mindfulness? But I don't have an experience. See, third level. You started with first, second. I have understood what you are saying, but I don't have an experience. So that takes us to the third step. Regular practice with the wisdom. Practice. Now the moment you have a clarity and intellectual understanding, what will happen? The next day you wake up in the morning. You don't have an intellectual understanding. The mind dictates your mind. Oh, come on. Oh, I have a pain in the head, so I will practice meditation tomorrow. Mind has taken over you again because of lack of intellectual understanding. Clarity. You have a clear intellectual understanding. Let me give you a very simple example. You have a clear understanding why you go to the restroom, why you go to the kitchen. You are hungry, you don't go to the restroom. You see, intellectual understanding. So there the ignorance of the mind doesn't work. The mind follows the intellect. Pay attention. Do you understand what I'm saying? It can be understood a very advanced session today. Do you understand that point? The intellect says no. You have an urge, go to the restroom. You are hungry, go to the kitchen. And when you wake up in the morning, you have a clarity of intellectual understanding. You say, no, I have to go there, I have to go there. Intellect says, no, first meditate. Why? That is the greatest of all the things, all the activities in the life, because it pertains to my whole existence. Then what happens? You never leave practice. You find time. You never say you are busy. Who does this? You. What is the role of a teacher? Nothing. I just pointed out, I spoke about it, finished, I gave the practice and finished. Along with comes that how, but question, last question, and then we will, I'm putting a question and then we'll do that. But why this intellect in the mind does not listen to me? I have understood. I know meditation is good. I know mindfulness is good. I know it gives me the peace and happiness, and still I'm not working on it. Still I'm not working on it. What?
No, it's not that you're not working on it.
Yeah.
It's just that it sometimes feels like...
Sometimes feels like mind.
Yeah.
Now speak. What sometimes feels like? Mind.
Mind.
Over the intellect.
Yeah.
Because you do not have a clear intellectual understanding. Because the intellect is a clear understanding. I have an urge, I go to the restroom. I am hungry, I go to the kitchen.
So why don't... What if you feel like you had a clear understanding and then all of a sudden it went away?
Yes, we have not contemplated. Teacher has passed on the information. The Google has given you the information. It has not become my understanding. It has become the understanding of a science when they say, it fires the brain to rewire it, it changes the functioning of neurons and neurotransmitters. Yes, I have understood, but it is not my understanding. What to do that? What to do that? If you think 24 hours, and especially the waking state, the moment we wake up in the morning until we sleep, we don't have a time for contemplation. The mind is constantly running. We don't stop it. Hold on. What I have learned. What is the principle? Is there any doubt? I don't ask myself. Until I ask myself, I can't have a clarity of intellectual understanding. I have information. The information is not intellectual understanding. So there is a gap in information. No, you have put everything logically. I have understood. Is it information? Yes. Until my mind starts contemplating and reflecting on it, nothing will happen. Nothing is going to happen. In order to bridge this gap, see, look at the beauty of the teachings of these masters. I don't know anything, I've been telling you. It's all coming from the masters. So bridge this gap from the information to intellectual understanding. Not only I have to contemplate and reflect, in order to have the right contemplation and reflection, the master says, ask yourself a couple of questions. What is the goal of your life? What are the goals in your life? What are the positive things, positive traits in your personality? What are the negative traits in your personality? We all know it. Rethink. What is the goals? What is the goal in your life? The goal in life pertains to everything outside my personal life, my relationship, my professional life, my social life. Goal of life is same for every human being, to evolve, to discover inner peace and happiness. Bring your mind back again and again. When you wake up in the morning, how much time it takes? How much time it takes? Hardly a minute. But mind says, I'm busy. How much time it takes? 1 minute. But the mind says, I'm busy. That will not work. That's why the mindfulness journey does not bring a transformation. It does not lead us to a state where I experience peace and happiness all the time. You got that answer? Huh?
Yeah.
You got an answer, Stephanie? That is. So these are the 4 questions. Then there are small tips. Right analysis. That is what Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. We say, moving from the ignorance to wisdom. What is ignorance? Incomplete knowledge about me and myself. I don't have a correct knowledge about me. So learn the principle, contemplate, be clear, do the practice, result will come. So the principle is, what is that? I'll pick up only one and then I'll have a couple of questions, we'll do the practice. The wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is right analysis. Buddha says right perception or the right view. Some Buddhist masters, modern Buddhist masters, says it's a right view, right perception, right knowledge. All are same. Take up one, right knowledge. What is right knowledge? Knowledge of what? Knowledge of others. Don't go there. Science knows everything. It has organized. It has done a remarkable progress. What is others? What is me? Eastern wisdom. Right analysis. So here comes, we go slowly. So right knowledge means the knowledge of the self and the knowledge of the non-self. Separate the two. Become aware of it. Become aware of it. Clear? Go further, little deeper. Question comes, right? Wisdom is also further down. It says real and unreal. Real and unreal. So what is the operating principle of non-real, which is unreal? That is constantly changing. Whatever is changing is not me. What I discover in mindfulness is the real, that is never changing identity. I started my talk with that. There is nothing new. I have to discover that nothing new. That is, that was, that is, that will be. That will be ever present. Are you not present, Stephanie, here? You. Are you not present at your home when you go back to your home? We are answering the question of who am I? So it says that you is the real. I have to find that real, filter out all the unreal. Every mindfulness practices does the same thing. Every meditation does the same thing. There is no difference between approaches are different. Now ask me as many questions as possible. Then you started contemplation. If you are not asking, you have not started contemplation.
If the approaches are different,
Huh?
all the approaches are different, right? But they're all the same.
Follow the same principle.
Yes.
The approaches is
should
different.
you stick with just one approach, or
Why?
Huh?
You go to different restaurant. Why? Taste everything. But we have to be very clear what approach works for me. And in order to know that, we have to go a little deeper. We have to understand other principles in order to know the temperament. The teacher knows your temperament. He just guides you, customized practices silently, and gradually you start reflecting your mental, intellectual state, and you find, oh, this approach will work for me.
Okay.
Not just out of the blue and you say that I like this approach. Who likes default setting of the mind? We are not working on likes and dislikes. We are working on what is right, what is real. There's a difference between the real likes and dislikes.
I know.
Did you get it? So the moment you do the right analysis between the real on one hand, likes and dislikes on the other, then what happens? Now with conformity, I know what is real, and still my mind is craving for something. What should I do? I can go on, but I'm holding on. But what should I do? I wake up in the morning and then again my mind goes back to the same thing. Did you have a clear understanding? Yes. Allow the intellect to have the austerity, to tolerance. Tell the mind, I'm not going there. I'm not doing this until I meditate. One principle. Second principle, uparati. Rati means mind is running outside. Upa means just opposite. Moving the mind inside. Another principle, relax, 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 be calm. So find out, are you living in the state of relaxation all the 24/7? It will help you raise your awareness.
That's true.
So heightened state of awareness is able to discriminate, separate real from the unreal. It will prevent the mind to run outside. I'm just juggling around the same word which I am talking today. So you see that from one principle to the second principle, but you are not aware that which principle to apply. So that's why you go to a teacher. That's why you understand. That's why you pick up the tempera. Oh. And then you say, yes, there comes a result. And then you also realize, I missed, my mind went back, that is why I missed. So the teacher gives you another principle to hold back. That is what Buddha did. Buddha had 27 masters. The last master was Alar Kalam. His name was Alar Kalam. Looks like Muslim, but in those days there was no Islam. Alar Kalam was the master, and the Alar Kalam saw the 26th master of Buddha and the Buddha in a forest in the Himalayas. And the 26th master was a great Hatha Yoga master. Believed in fasting, believed in organic food, and so on. Believed in fasting.
Believed in organic food?
Yeah.
They didn't even talk about organic.
According to modern time. Come on. What do you mean? Organic food was not present at that time? See, it was present. So just believe that they must have an insight. Because of everything, fasting, Buddha was reduced to skeleton. Alar Kalam was watching. And another master was pushing him. But he went through all the 25 masters. He followed all the approaches. And every approach gave him something.
Right, okay.
That is the point. So either you say 27 teachers or you say one teacher applied different approaches. Look at it from that point of view. So this Alar Kalam said, why don't you give, he is worthless. He addressed the 26th master about Buddha that he is worthless, he is already reduced to skeleton. Give this student to me. He will not be any help to you. He's not going to do anything. What? The Alar Kalam found that now he has already experienced the different approaches which has not helped him. And then he said now he was tired, he was fatigued, he was going to die, and he said, sit under a tree. Don't worry, I'm not giving you anything. And there comes the mindfulness practice. Are you really tired and frustrated because of all the approaches and of your life? Has your mind stopped running outside? Only this session is required. I'm just concluding here. Only this session is required. I know why you're laughing. Still you are listening to me, your mind is going, no, after the session I have to go and I have to do this thing. Mind is still moving outside.
So,
Sir.
for me, what I have been noticing, I don't really want to say struggle. So, for me, the journey is not a struggle, not a conflict, but between the intellect and behind the mind. And what I mean by that is I have my morning practice. It's natural. It's not something that's scheduled. It's not something I have to think about. I roll out of bed before I feed anybody or anything. I have my hour of practice. Then, and I have a practice in the evening, which is about a half an hour, 20 minutes to a half an hour.
Good.
I want to, you've introduced me to so many great texts. So I desire, not aspire, I desire to read more and more and more and more. You've seen, I have books everywhere, and there's always something that I can take from these books. So the intellect is working. But in my practice, I don't have any contemplation or questions. And I hear you at times, I feel as if you're trying to guide me to the importance of contemplation. But so often, my contemplation is coming during the intellectual time of when I'm studying and reading. And then when I do the practice, it's natural and easy for me, and I don't want to contemplate. And I don't want to come out of that and go back into intellectual zone. I want to stay where I'm at, but I know that you want to see our evolution in the form of what happened from your contemplation. So I've really been in that place. It's not a battle or a struggle. It's not causing me anxiety. It's none of those things. But there's this, what I would describe for me as this sustained bliss of meditation and going back in to document and I don't have a contemplation during.
Yes.
Rarely do I have I might have an experience, like here last week, I might have an experience that was different, but it's not something that I want to document because I don't want to enter back into the intellectual.
Yes.
What's your recommendation for that? I feel like it's not a mind thing, although everything happens in the mind, so it must be a desire. My mind is desiring the intellectual pursuit of all these great texts. I'm reading by the bedside now is the 9 principal Upanishads, and listening or reading and listening, they're the exact same principles. But to hear them again and to read them again, I hear them and then I read them. It's the intellectual.
It is the very first step. But before going there, your mind is following almost a mixed approach. You have a tremendous belief in the Eastern wisdom and its principle. So that belief takes over the intellect. I have read it, I have understood it, so the belief is constantly taking over the intellect. That is definitely a good thing. But question comes that if I have a clarity when I ask myself whether this principle which I have read is true, can I convince myself? No, I'm convinced because I have a belief, one aspect. And I'm convinced because I have understood it, I have contemplated. So you are on a high, I can say you can be in a higher plane. Continue with the belief and still contemplate, so the belief will be strengthened at another level. And then what will happen? Then the aspiration will start coming. Fundamentally, I'll just pick up 2 points and then we'll start our meditation. All the religions can be reduced to a path of devotion, the Bhakti Yoga. What Bhakti Yoga says? Why you are suffering? Because you don't believe in the existence, you don't believe in the God, you don't have belief. So Bhakti Yoga teaches, here is a God, here is an existence, believe in it, and here is a process so that you can awaken to inner peace and happiness. Second approach, meditation approach, path of Raja Yoga, path laid down by Patanjali. It says, continue here, mind is the problem. Mind is distracted. Make it focused, move it inside, do all these practices. But they also talk about an extraordinary experiences that is already listed in the 4th chapter of Patanjali and also in Hatha Yoga. People talk about visions and colors and they fall back into hallucination. Mostly they fall back into hallucination, imagination. They don't have a clarity that why my mind stops the practice, why the mind is not evolving. The third approach, if I don't contemplate and reflect, then I don't become my own teacher. I got all the information from the world. I understood. I like it. I believe it. But can I take this belief to the next level? Intellect must talk to intellect. I have understood peace is my essential nature, why I am having a pain, why I am having a pleasure, why I have a problem. This becomes a contemplation. So it is not a contemplation as explained in the Christianity, where you focus on the Christ, on a particular text. No. You're asking questions to yourself. How this is true? You have the information from the Upanishad, but how come this is true? This beer guy is talking. I have to ask myself how this is true to me. Otherwise you will lay off this beer guy. After some time, mind picks up the information. I know everyone is teaching the same thing. No, I have to. So take your belief to the next level. Have a total clarity. And then you are inspired. And then the journey continues. You see that? Stephanie?
I do. It's a lot. My head is spinning a little bit and I'm trying to slow it down.
Is it a lot in your office? That's what you have been doing for years together? Don't tell me. I pick up your mind.
Simple. I'm new to making it a practice of meditation. So
You're not new to your life. You're not new to your experiences.
Correct.
From there the journey begins.
That's right. So this is a good story.
That's good, yeah.
I thought I have to make something more complicated than it actually is. If I'm going to meditate, I have to really...
Don't make it complicated.
I have to find the exact place, and I did. I went to the Franciscan Renewal Center, which I love, and I had to walk the grounds, and I had to do all these things. And finally, I found this meditation room. It's a beautiful little room, and there were a lot of people in there, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't meditate when there's a bunch of people. Anyway, it didn't matter because I sat down with the other people that were sitting there, and I just closed my eyes, and I was just, the chatter was in my head. Oh, everybody's looking at me. What are they going to think? I'm weird. I'm going to, and finally, I don't know how much time passed, but I opened my eyes and nobody was in the room. They all left. I calmed myself down. I was in there for like a half an hour. I didn't even realize it. And I said, I think I did it. Once I stopped thinking about it, everything just
Right.
And it was very, I've been really good about the practice, of not necessarily the meditation part, because I'm working on that.
But now you have started the practice.
But as far as mindfulness, and when I feel anxiety or somebody's aggravating me, or I feel I just stop and I realize I'm in control of that, and I separate. I'm going to be what is that? I'm looking at it. I'm not it.
The witness.
The witness.
The witness. Yeah.
And I'm finding that very, very helpful. And I'm trying to work on.
You did very well in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'm working, and realizing that. And there's a part of me that wants to jump in and read a bunch of texts and jump into that. And I'm like, this is.
What you're listening to me, just contemplate on that. That's enough in the beginning. And as you are practicing, I'm observing that. So if you continue the journey, it will help me to understand your nature, and I pick up those principles in a group setting that applies to everyone. So let us start the practice. To summarize you say, yes, I'm doing this, and you explained about the room and the people, and anxiety was there. Just to give the same example, last week I went to the dealer of the car, and I went into a formal dress with the sleeper.
You had slippers on and formal dress.
And a formal dress. So the guy told me, okay, and he looked at there, and he laughed. Now question is, that is a default setting of the mind. When you go to the office, you should dress like this, and you should sit on the chair, and you should put up in computer. It's a default setting of the mind. But the mind is acquiring something, new knowledge in mindfulness. That is why it doesn't want to go back. It wants to stick to the same habitual setting. Break that habitual setting. I also laughed. I know why you're laughing. And I like your laughing.
I like my slippers, they're comfortable.
Finish. Casey never saved me anything, but I do sometimes. Who cares?
I've gone to class in my slippers before. They're comfortable, and I've just gone to class to teach class, and look down there, I'm in my house shoes. You've done that? No.
So my son says, why? No. What you are doing? Wear your shoes. I said, okay, I'll follow you. Okay, let me wear the shoes.
Pants inside out, label sticking out.
Yeah. Done that kind of stuff.
Let us start our journey. Close your eyes, lie down on your back. Lie down on your back. We covered a lot of principles today, but still I'll try to point you out of those principles. The first is mind, outside and inside. And there comes the preparatory step. Close your eyes, sit or lie down. Don't worry about others, what they are doing. Follow yours. So eyes are closed. When you close your eyes, what it means, it simply means the mind, now you have to move inside. That is the message you are giving to your conscious mind. And once that message is given, you have understood it. You see, you have understood. It doesn't take a lot of time to contemplate and reflect. Yes, you are right. When I close my eyes, I see the space and the darkness outside. Forget the outer space. You see that? Now you are comfortable. Look at the neck joint. Because you followed the principle, you have understood it, and now we are moving into experiencing it. Can it become my experience? How simple is that? I'm not talking of something mysterious and supernatural and no, very clear. So looking at the neck joint, so just ask yourself, non-verbally, I'm looking at the neck joint, so what happens? Nothing happens, except I become aware of a new experience. That is sensation in the neck joint, being comfortable and steadiness. How easy it is to move the mind to a new experience within no time. What prevents it? Default setting of the mind, the intellect, the impurities of the mind, the ignorance, the false nature with lot of thoughts, sensation, imagination, past impression. The enemy appears much stronger, but awareness is that power, and being comfortable can destroy all the great enemies. Now see that. I'm giving you more or less the same practice, but I customize it. Look at the shoulder joints. When you look at the shoulder joints, you feel the sensation. I'm not imposing. Consciously, you are aware. What you are aware, the mind has to do within. That is why you close your eyes. You feel you're being comfortable and sensation and steadiness. Hip joint, feel the sensation. Being comfortable and steadiness. Knee joints, ankles, toes, entire body. Entire body comfortable, sensation, steadiness. Now we all know we experience stillness and steadiness at different times in our waking state. Only difference, you are aware of it. A conscious mind is working. Means what? You are working on the mind. That is what the Nancy was trying to explain. The entire body is comfortable. Now, if this being comfortable is disturbed, who disturbs? Can the body disturb? No. It is the mind. Why the mind? Default setting. Look at it. We have understood that default setting. So, what exactly we need to do? When the past impression triggers a thought and a feeling and a sensation in my head, and that is nearly going to be translated into an action in the body, I say, hold on. Thought comes, no problem. Thought stays, no problem. Thought goes away, no problem. But I should maintain my awareness that no thought, subconscious, that is moving into my mind, is not translated into an action through the body. That is the meaning of being carefree. So you are not disturbed by the noise of the air conditioning that is striking your ears in this room, no problem. You're listening to me, no problem. That is the point of being carefree. Mind is the cause of the problem. It is the mind that experiences, oh, this thought has come. Oh, my cell phone is ringing. No. Now no relationship to your phone, even if it rings in the middle. Don't worry about it. I point out this thing again and again in a group session. Or even in a personalized, let it happen. What it going to teach you? Educate your mind. Oh, come on. Phone is not me. It is not mine now. Why should I be worried? But when you intellectually contemplate, the clarity is deeper, then it becomes easy to be carefree. You see the point? You believe it, it's okay. I like it, I appreciate it. The third point is being casual. Casual? Yes, natural. In the field of awareness, as if you're doing nothing. Silently I start the journey from the state of doing nothing to the final state of doing nothing. Why? We discover how to work on the mind. How simple is that? Why? To do nothing. Self is within us. It's a discovery. It is not a creation. Once it goes into your head with a clarity, into your mind, into your emotions, into your feeling, what happens? It becomes a conscious belief. Then practice becomes easy. And easier the practice, the higher it is. So where we have to go? Look at the head and the neck. The mind goes to the head and the neck. It is aware of the head and the neck. The experiences may vary. It may be simple sensation, relaxation and stillness. We are raising the awareness bar of this mind. Why? I've already answered that. Right arm, the mind moves on the right arm. There are many other ways. Mind moves from the shoulder to the fingertips. Move the mind again from the fingertips to the shoulder and check. In between the movement of the mind on the right arm, is the mind distracted? You will realize your nature. Oh, this is what is happening to me today. And I also noticed that. Don't worry how I noticed that. That's a different thing. So move the mind on the right arm, sensation, relaxation and stillness. The mind goes to the left arm. You move the mind on the left arm. You feel the sensation. The mind is still moving on the left arm. Check it. If it is not, you have lost awareness. You're listening to me habitually from too far. And the mind continues to move naturally on the left arm. If I say, just for example, that the level of your awareness is at the peak, and when it is at the peak, you are there with me. One session is required. How simple is that? I covered today's lesson. Mind is the cause of the problem and the solution. Look from that perspective. If you have contemplated earlier, look at the chest and the belly. Move the mind on the chest and the belly from the shoulder to the waist, shoulder from the back to the spine to the waist, the entire chest and the belly region, the middle portion of the body. And there is if I use the term, awakening to the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Now see the phrase, awakening to sensation, relaxation, stillness. Why? You did not create it. You did nothing. But then what happened? That default setting of the mind is breaking up. One way to explain. There are many other ways. Look at the right leg. Right leg from the right side of the waist to the toes. Right side of the waist to the toes. Right side of the waist to the toes. And again I'm repeating it. You know, the default setting of the mind says, I have already understood it. And then it starts working on some other thought. Look at it. This is why the teachers, you might have attended many sessions, why these teachers repeat it. They don't repeat because they forget anything. They repeat for your own sake, for your sake. And mind says, who cares? I have understood it. So that understanding is information only. If you contemplate, you know. You do it. Pick up a point. Sensation, relaxation and stillness. Left leg. Left leg. Sensation, relaxation and stillness. Right perception, if I use the term, I'm converting the right perception at one level in the next step. Head in the neck, outside. The mind has already experienced sensation, relaxation and stillness. It picks up the nearest, the closest experiences now. So outside what we are experiencing, sensation, relaxation and stillness, and look inside the head. You are aware all the sense organs cannot go inside, so the mind has to project and experience the space, darkness or emptiness. Take all the sense organs out. What do you experience? Objectless. So here the mind instantly projects darkness. Here the projection is a helper. See that? The other day I will talk about the projection is the problem. Right arm, outside, right perception, sensation, relaxation and stillness. Inside, same darkness. Come on. Is your mind becoming aware that outside are different parts of the body and inside it is the same? I'm giving your mind a glimpse, an idea. Oh, inside is all one. Look at the left arm. Look at the left arm. Look at the left arm outside. Sensation, relaxation and stillness. Look inside and be there. What is the meaning of being there? Your awareness moves inside the left arm without any object. That is why you are experiencing a sense of emptiness and darkness or the space. My friends, if your awareness is at the peak level, this is the session, finished. Inside the chest and the belly, outside, chest, sensation, relaxation and stillness. Many parts. Experience is the same. Inside, experience is the same. The darkness or emptiness, whether you call it darkness, it's okay. You call it space, it's okay. It's okay. What we are experiencing, the absence of any object. If you don't contemplate, the intellect doesn't return to narrate and interpret that experience, the mind continues to fall back with the default setting. See that? I've been saying that what I gave and offered, it's a conscious journey. We are equal participants. You know what you're doing and I know what I'm giving you. Now leave all the understanding and see what happens, so you can configure, you can understand. Look at the right leg outside, sensation, relaxation, stillness. Mind says, okay, this is the default setting and not a big issue. Now the moment you look inside and the mind is not, you do not understand, you have not contemplated what? That it is a projected darkness. What is projected darkness? What appears is not. But one thing, second understanding, it is an objectless state. So we are coming near to the state of mindfulness. If you don't understand that, what happens? The mind says, darkness, what should I do? Hallucination and imagination. The mind gets scared. It is misguided, dictated by the default setting and a past impression. And in that darkness we start imagining something to avoid the experience of darkness and the emptiness. Then what happens? You know it. And many people explain they have out of the body experience and they have many experiences that is framed by the science as hallucination, and they are right. What I said? Equal participants. What I'm giving, I know. What you are doing, I know. You know. No more belief. No more dogma. We are moving to discover who am I rather than dreaming of extraordinary experiences. Look at the left leg outside, sensation, relaxation and stillness, and inside projected darkness. Again I'm saying is a space or emptiness. Yes, in that emptiness or darkness sometimes you see the thoughts, but now because of clear understanding you are aware of the darkness or emptiness. You are aware the thought in the darkness. You are aware of any experiences, vision in that state of emptiness. That works. Then you will progress. Very subtle point. Mind is the cause of the problem and the mind is the cause of the solution. Based on that, we are doing these practices today. So the entire body outside. Outside, mind goes to the nearest experience. Even if it doesn't go, bring it back. It is easy. The mind will enjoy. Let me see that. I have rephrased it. Sensation, relaxation and stillness in the entire body. You may have variety of other experiences, freezing, numbness. Let it be so. Recognize and accept. Sinking into the floor, rising up. Recognize and accept. Why? Mind is moving within. If you are making a conscious journey, not falling back into any kind of imagination or hallucination. So what happens? Numbness. You do not understand it intellectually with a clarity. The numbness or the freezing will scare you. You will move your body. The past impression will return. Just understand. You are understanding, you are into the practice, you are experiencing and looking inside is nothing but the projected darkness and emptiness. There is another phrase people use, live in the present moment. Live in mindfulness. what exactly it is. Let us translate that into an experience, into your living awareness, into a living in the present moment. And it is such a beautiful way to it. Doing nothing. I simply become aware of this room outside in the present moment, here and now. You're not doing anything to anything outside. Become aware of the people with whom you are. Why? We are living in the present moment. Become aware of the room, the people, the participants, including me, in the present moment. Also become aware of the body. So you see that? Awareness of the room, people, body, experience in the body, sensation, relaxation and stillness. I'm just moving in a flow. Awareness of the room, the noise, the people outside, then the body outside. Sensation, relaxation and stillness outside. Look inside. Projected darkness. Become aware. You are also aware of the breath by default. Everything is happening in the present moment. Go further. Awareness in the present moment. Your experience of awareness of the room, the people, body, sensation, relaxation and stillness, and the breath is moving, giving you some sensation. Okay? You are living in the present moment. Awareness of the room, the noise, the people, sensation, relaxation and stillness in the body, the emptiness within, experience of the breath going in and out, and maybe some thoughts, feelings, sensations, vision, colors, and deeper than that, it is still the space, it is still the darkness. But something happens. I believe you might have noticed. And that is the key to live in the present moment. It is not to focus on the breath. How it will work? We do the practice in ignorance. Now see what happens. The moment I will speak, you will be amazed that you know it, but you have not contemplated. We discover what in the present moment from outside, room, noise, people, sensation, relaxation and stillness, emptiness within, experience of the breath going in and out, some thoughts, feelings, sensation and vision, and we discover behind that there is also an emptiness. Because the mind has a default setting, it engages us only in the thought, feelings, sensations, likes, dislikes, pain and pleasure, past impression. It doesn't allow us to go behind it. Now we can do it. Now we have that experience. There are different ways to explain it. Other master says that now you have discovered something new, out of which the self will reveal itself. It will not reveal with the jungle of thoughts at that level. It is going to reveal behind it, deeper than this. And I'm aware of it. So what I have to do? Nothing. I have to do nothing. Move from inside to outside, the deepest layer, there is the nothingness, the emptiness, the space. Higher than that, the mind with its thoughts, feelings, sensation, the past impression. Okay, who cares? Higher than that or outer than that, I experience the breath is going in and out, feeling the sensation. I'm not doing anything. Above that, I experience the emptiness and the space inside the body. Outer and higher, above than that, I experience the body is already in the state of sensation, relaxation and stillness. And outside there are people, millions of experiences. Every object, every person brings a different experience based on the object or a person. But my deepest layer is simply empty. It is only the space. I'm aware of that. Maintaining that awareness reveals what it reveals. That's what we are aspiring for. Be in the present moment. Yes, I'm in the present moment. So in that present moment, besides knowing everything that your mind already knows, you know something deeper. Now you know that you are not a jungle of thoughts, past impression. You are something deeper than that. That flash, that glimpse is enough. From there the revelation takes place. My friends, we are doing nothing. Mind goes back, throws you into a default setting. Don't worry. Now you know it. What? The deepest layer is nothing but the sense of emptiness, space. Above it, the thoughts are there. The ocean is there at the deepest level. Then you have the waves of the thoughts and the feeling and the sensation. Then you have the upper layer, the breath. And still you experience this, the ocean and the horizon. That is your body. And outside, the beaches of pleasure, pain, all our experiences outside. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. Let's share our experiences now. How are you, Stephanie? Good? How are you, Nancy?
My foot is not here at all right now.
Are you here now?
Am I here? Yes.
I'm asking you, not your foot.
Jeez, I can't feel this leg at all.
But that's the best part is that you didn't move.
That's great.
That is the thing that we should understand that.
That's great. It was very interesting.
Very interesting.
It was I could hear you and I don't know.
Then you went back, your default setting, the mind returned.
It was weird.
What was
and
that?
There'd be some pain. And, I don't know. This leg is so asleep right now. But I don't think normally.
Don't worry. It will go back within few minutes.
Oh, jeez.
But the best part, the mind did not went back to the past impression of numbness or freezing, and it didn't disturb you. That is a good part.
Good.
So what was weird?
It wasn't weird. It was very good. It was just.
We use being weird, good and bad too. So I wanted to be sure that it is good.
Yeah.
Did I something bad to you?
No.
Okay.
It was really. It was pretty. It was probably one of the more
Intensive.
Yeah, like there were times where I would think,
Absorbed.
I want to move, or I could even see myself saying, just don't move, or whatever. And I just.
That's good. You applied the principle of fortitude, what we say in our Eastern wisdom, that now you know the mind is the problem, mind is causing the problem. Tell your mind, no way, I'm not listening to you. Yes, we need to apply those things a couple of times. So how are you, Casey?
I really, really enjoy the moving in, moving out.
Moving in and moving out. That's wonderful.
I really enjoy that. The things that are the most, blatant, superficial stuff, like the sounds, totally aren't there. But
Wonderful.
there's a degree of being drawn in to you, but not leaving the inside, and then being drawn more to the inside. And sometimes it's a physical. I'll share with you, Nancy. Sometimes there's like if I feel a pain or a sensation somewhere, I say no. Take the mind to the left leg. He did not say the right hip, mind. Don't go to the right hip, mind. Go to the left leg, But it still was not. You can get to superficial realm where the room came into play.
Right.
So I really enjoy when we